Hi everybody and welcome to Cultivation with yours truly. My name is Cassie McClure and I'm a psychic medium based out of Colorado, and today I have my monthly recap that I do every month. This month it is for September 2019. In these little monthly recaps, I like to go over the astrology of the previous month that we just experienced, some energetics that I noticed, and then a little bit about what's going on with me personally, and then the music that I was listening to that month, because I just like to share my playlists, because maybe you might like them too. So to get started, astrologically, we had everything in Virgo, essentially, for most of the month, until mid-month. So this means the sun, which is our ego, Mars, which is our action, where we're putting our energy, Venus, which is all about what we value, what we find beautiful, how we kind of love as well, and then Mercury, which is how we communicate, how we think, our mind, that kind of stuff. So we had all of this in analytical, discerning, service-oriented Virgo. It's a mutable sign, so Virgos are really into making things really efficient, tending to the details, and doing what they can to serve. Then we started to get some of those personal planets, Mercury and Venus, into Libra about mid-month on the 14th. So we went from that kind of analytical, service-oriented vibration to more of a partnership, harmonious, more about balance, fairness, justice, beauty, just kind of wanting to bring things together really peacefully in our communication and in the way that we value things, the way that we love. On the 14th also, slash 13th, depending on where you were in the world, we had a full moon in Pisces. This one was pretty emotional. We had it, some of the aspects that were going on. We also had Mars opposite Neptune. So Mars in Virgo, action-oriented, but kind of detail-oriented, really wanting to be perfect, wanting to have this perfectionist type of I guess not wanting to have a perfectionist type of tendency, but having one regardless. I am natally Mars in Virgo, so this whole period for me has been so difficult. I record these videos and delete them like 7 times before I post them, and before I used to just record them once and I was like, whatever. So I'm definitely feeling this kind of Mars in Virgo. But we had this opposite Neptune in Pisces, which Neptune is at home in Pisces. Pisces is the sign of the bigger collective. It can also be kind of like death and then disintegrating or reintegrating into the one or the whole, kind of mass consciousness. It's kind of dreamy and artsy, things of that nature as well, very emotional. So we had a lot of big emotions here, and we also had some like confusion, because that Mars opposing Neptune, Mars in Virgo really wants to get things done and organize things and have a plan for things, whereas Neptune and Pisces are just kind of like, what's a plan, brother? Like, we're just chilling, everything's cool, like, let's disintegrate. And Mars and Virgo is like, no, like, what's the plan? Like, what's actually the plan, though? So we had a little bit of that going on. We were trying to do a lot of healing and kind of grounding into all of the new things that we're creating, or the things that we've picked back up, working on. We have also, we were also kind of looking at, yeah, just thinking about what we want and what we need, and thinking about how we can take action to get there, even though it might seem a little bit nebulous. And it's taking action towards our dream, essentially. Then we had Saturn turn direct in Capricorn on the 18th. It's been retrograde since late April. So it was kind of like sluggishness, maybe not working as much as we usually do, or as much as we feel like we should. And then as soon as Saturn turned direct, it was almost like a nose to the grindstone type of energy, where things started to speed up, and it was like, all right, retrograde since April. What are we picking back up on? What kind of projects are we going to keep going on? What are we going to steamroll through here? What are we going to accomplish now? Kind of speeding up for the rest of the year. Then we had our very last Jupiter-Neptune square Jupiter in his home sign is Sagittarius, expansive, learning, traveling, growth, and then squaring, which just means like needing an action to take place, some tension to create action, that Neptune in Pisces. So that really dreamy, really nebulous, kind of like, it's almost, when you get Jupiter in Sagittarius and Neptune in Pisces together, sometimes it can be a little bit too dreamy or too fanciful. So maybe your dream is a little bit too extra and you can still have a version of it, but it might not be exactly that manifestation that's super, super fluffy that you might get eventually. It might just be a version of that. And so this happened back in January, middle of January, middle of June, and then on the 21st. So kind of think back what was going on for you at that point in time. What kind of decisions were you making around your dream? What kind of dreams were you dreaming for yourself? What kind of goals were you creating for yourself? And how are those starting to be tweaked? Then on the 23rd, we had the sun go into Libra. So more fun, more enjoyment, more harmony, more peace. It's kind of a nice, relaxing, pretty type of energy. It's like sparkly and it's just really, it's really nice. It's like parties with friends, like really nice little soirees with friends. It's that type of energy. So that's kind of highlighting the ego in general of the masses for the next month. It's Libra season, right? Then we get the new moon in Libra on the 28th. So this was a really beautiful, really auspicious day, and one of the most of the year, I would argue. We had Venus in Libra, what is that, sextiling Jupiter with Jupiter in Sagittarius. So Venus in Libra feels very at home. It's beautiful. It's this like harmonious hostess who's giving everybody this beautiful, great time, and everything's pretty good. So Venus feels good there. And then sextiling Jupiter in Sagittarius, that just means joining, kind of like the energies kind of come together to help each other out. There's like a magical little spark between them. And so Jupiter and Sag is that expansive, beautiful, wanting to travel, to dream, to grow, to learn, to make friends and have new experiences. So it's a really nice, that Venus and Libra with that Jupiter and Sagittarius, really nice combination of energies. And then it was like a really nice day to plant seeds for how you want to partner with yourself, how you want to partner with others. For the rest of the year and really the next 6 months into the next time we'll have a full moon in Libra, which will be in 6 months from now. So that's essentially it for the astrology. As far as the energetics go, I was noticing with myself, with those around me, just kind of tuning into things on a whole, there was a lot of really big release. And I know I keep saying this, I say it all the time, I've said it a lot this year, but it really feels like it just keeps going in a lot of ways. We'll get this little break and then we'll get this really big release that comes again. So a lot of really big releases, also really big gains and growth. So like with the intensity of the release came the same amount of intensity in growth. It's kind of like something like a catapult kind of being weighed down by this grief or pain or release or realization, and then kind of having that pain be released and be kind of like catapulted out, and that like flying through the air is the growth, if that makes sense. It's kind of how the energy felt, almost like a slingshot or something, pulling us back, pushing us forward, pulling us back, pushing us forward. We had some difficult physical and emotional shifts, and I feel like we've been facing a lot of things, whether that's facing small things like, wow, I'm not so good at time management, or wow, I have this part of myself that I didn't know that I still needed to work on, or things of that nature. Just kind of having some things come up and arise for us to now work on. We also, let's see what else. Oh, yeah, some frustration, some confusion, some kind of like just feeling like we're not getting stuff done as quickly as we want, or maybe we're running into some roadblocks in certain ways with parts of ourself that I've been noticing a lot. I guess if it hasn't been yourself, then it's been people around you, but then really all that is a reflection of yourself. So looking at that, as far as my personal stuff, I did a really cool leadership coaching workshop this month that was really valuable, really amazing, and helped me in a lot of ways, especially with my business stuff. So I've been really digging my hands into cultivation in a lot of ways, coming up with new things, starting to write my course, doing community circles every second and fourth Sunday of the month. Those are going to be live streamed in the Cultivation with Community Facebook group, so check that out if you would like to. They're donation based, but you can also just chill and watch if you want. Those are happening. I'm getting a logo made. I just did another workshop for the Libra new moon. There's just a lot of stuff that I've been doing business-wise. I also had some big losses. Well, one really big loss this month and one really big gain this month, we'll say. The loss was a dear friend of mine that I used to go and study psychic stuff with. He ended up passing, and that's definitely a bummer. He's close by, you know, we can communicate with each other. That's the beauty of being intuitive and kind of tapping into this power that most of us really truly do have. But at the same time, it sucks not to have him around physically. And then I also had this really crazy thing happen where I got into a new relationship like last month, and then things just kind of went really wonky and ended up ending in like a really sudden, really kind of crazy way. And the gain there was that through my heartache and what really felt like a loss, I was able to uncover more stuff that I need to work on within myself. So that is a cool and interesting thing that happened. And then as far as music goes, Lana Del Rey released her new album. It's called Norman fucking Rockwell at the end of last month, and I wanted to save it for this month because I didn't get a chance to fully listen to it. I love it, obviously. I think it's probably her best album yet. I definitely recommend everybody listen to it if you like kind of sad singers with really beautiful, sultry voices. There were some Howdy singles that came out. There's this like indie, lo-fi indie alternative band. I don't even know how to describe my music that I like, called Howdy, and they released two singles this month that I just love. I'm really, really excited for the release of their album, which I think is this month, so I'll probably talk about it at the end of October's, well, this month as in October, at the end of October's little video that I do. Then also, I finally started listening to all of the new Frankie Cosmo's album, which is called Close It Quietly. It's pretty long, but all the songs are pretty short, so you can get through it. And I really enjoy a lot of them on there. They're really simple. Frankie Cosmos has a really good way of kind of being cute and simple, but putting emotions into it too. So it's almost like I don't know, it reminds me of my inner child a lot. Like, kind of grumpy, but kind of joyful, and all in cool alternative indie music. Of course, because I went through a breakup, I was listening to 'Cause I Love You by Lizzo, and I've been sleeping on that. So I'm a little embarrassed to say that I've been sleeping on it, but I started listening to it this month, and it is obviously, as everyone knows, very, very good. And it's like the best breakup music you could probably possibly listen to, I think. I listen to a lot of sad music, but this stuff really, like, helped me keep my sanity in so many ways, because I could have just, like, slid down into that sad hole, but Lizzo kind of, like, pumped me up quite a bit. And then last but certainly not least, Alex G, one of my favorite artists, released a new album called House of Sugar. It's super weird. It's a really weird album. I like it because I like everything he puts out. I don't know if I could not like anything that he puts out. There are a couple songs on that album that I feel really weird about, where I'm like, this is a little bit weird. I think this is gonna have to grow on me, or like, I'm gonna have to be in a mood for this. But for the most part, it's a pretty good album. It was kind of a little bit hard to listen to when I was going through breakup stuff because, you know, Alex G is a little bit more on the sad side sometimes, so I was just like, I gotta save this for when I'm feeling a little bit better so my heart doesn't hurt as much. I really get sucked into music and I have synesthesia, so when I hear things, it's like a complete immersive scene around me and I like tap into whatever emotion the artist is trying to convey, maybe, or just one that I'm making up myself, but I definitely get sucked in that way. But anyways, this is going on like 6 minutes longer than usual, so I'm gonna end it there. September's been it's been one. September's been one. I hope you guys have had a pretty good month, and I hope October's cool for you. I hope that we can all surf the energies together and yeah, kick lots of ass. Cool. Have a great rest of your day, everybody, and I'll see you here for October recap next month.